Hello and welcome back to the DayLuna Human Design Podcast with your hosts, Dana and Shayna. Today we have a solo episode where we wanted to talk about crosses of incarnation, which this is something that I think everybody is thirsty for. Everybody wants to know about their cross of incarnation because nobody teaches it, I feel like, except for us, which is
Yeah.
probably not true. Like, I don't know everybody teaching human design, but it's people are hard pressed to get information on their cross of incarnation. And every single time that we do a reading, the constant feedback is like, I couldn't find that information anywhere. Like, please tell me about my cross of incarnation. And we get to dive deep in that. But so yes, we're very passionate about talking about your cross of incarnation. And a lot of resources out there and even classes that we've taken have kind of have the messaging that like your cross isn't that important. Like just dive into the gates within your cross, which can be helpful for sure. Like diving into the gates in your cross is super important, but understanding the overall theme of your cross of incarnation is so important because it's literally like the most prominent energy, the energy that you're here to be in the world in every aspect of your life, the energy that you're here to be with your friends and family, with your work, with your, the people that you pass along the street. Like it is the energetic imprint or frequency that you are here to emit and give off to the world around you. So a lot of times when we're talking about life purpose, it's like, okay, what am I here to do? Right? Like, am I here to be a yoga teacher? Or is it my life purpose to be a mom or to, whatever, be a teacher? And your life purpose is not one thing that you're here to do or be. It is the energy that you're here to be in all of the things that you do with every single person, the frequency, like I was just sharing. So that's where your cross of incarnation is going to give you amazing insight of what that is for you. So we have a few resources that we really love to pull your cross of incarnation together, and we teach about that in our course, our Activate Your Golden Purpose course. We teach all of those different resources, and we even provide you with our interpretation of your cross in your personalized workbook. But I feel like when I first heard about my cross of incarnation, it just the words alone unlocked something within me and helped me kind of like exhale for the first time and feel this sense of like, oh, okay, like, great, I can do that. Right. A lot of times I think when we're thinking about our purpose, it's like this thing outside of us that we have to climb the mountain to do, and we have to strive and hustle and really stretch ourselves and, become something to be it.
Yeah.
And it's really the energy that you're already being. Um, Raru, who likes to say you awaken within your cross. Like when you are using your strategy and authority, you literally just look around and you're like, oh, I am that energy for my friends and family. And you start observing how it's actually this frequency that's coming out in small things that you do, in the way that you communicate, in the way the emails that you write, the conversations that you have with your friends and family. Like it just starts emanating so effortlessly that it feels like that exhale, like, oh, okay, I can do this. I am doing this and not I am enough. It's so helpful.
Yeah, honestly, I've been thinking about all of the content that we're sharing in our Activate Your Golden Purpose course, just because we're finally sharing it. We're finally launching this program. So I've just been really reconnecting to all of these energies in my own design because it tells you so much about your purpose and your abundance codes and how to market. So I've been coming back to all of these aspects of myself and, really embodying them as we share this information. But so it's been fresh on my mind. But recently I just had a group of friends come together for a trip, and there was a couple of friends there that are newer in our friend group, and they know a little tiny bit about their human design. Like they maybe know their type and their authority and their profile, but that's it. And I don't fully have like a deeper invitation to really go there with them, which all of my other friends in my friend group, like we know every single thing about their chart. Like we've looked at their chart a million times. We've had a million readings with them over brunch. We've gone deep into the layers. But when I have newer friends that don't know very much about human design. It's really interesting. Like a couple of friends in general that went on this trip with me, I was just noticing how much kind of social anxiety they had, and how I was just kind of reading into every time they felt a little bit awkward, or when everyone was doing one thing and they didn't really know how to say, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. Like it just seems so basic and foundational. But it's interesting. I was just thinking about how when you know yourself on such a deeper level, you feel so comfortable no matter where you are. You feel comfortable asserting boundaries. You feel comfortable around new people. You feel comfortable around people who are very different than you, who are doing different things. And you're like, I don't have to be that because I'm me. I don't have to say yes when they say yes. I can say no because I'm me. And I was thinking about how the moment I first learned my cross of incarnation, it felt like the biggest sigh of relief of like, that's who I am in a world of all of this changing confusion, in a world with all of these social dynamics and like, do people like me? And all of these things that you're like dealing with on the material human plane. It just felt like you instantly sort of transcend those things, but also anchor into your center when you know ultimately who you are and what your soul is here to share. And it's so fascinating. I was just like observing people who have social anxiety in these situations and how it boils down to they just, when we don't know ourselves that deeply, we don't know the energy that we're here to admit, it just kind of feels confusing. And you feel this lack of safety on a spiritual level when you're not grounded into yourself. And, you know, in moments where I feel uncomfortable socially, or I feel like, oh, that was a cringe moment, or that was an awkward moment for me, I can go into myself. I can go into my center and I can look in that mirror of my cross of incarnation, my purpose, my energy, who I am, the things that are consistent for me, my unique soul frequency. And I can feel at home. I can feel at center. And it helps me release all of the things that I worry about or stress about that don't fucking matter in my purpose. And that's why learning about your cross of incarnation in this level, it feels like an exhale. It's like all of the other stuff that I think about or that I do or that I get pulled into conversation around or that comes up in my life path, like everything is interesting, everything is important, everything is here to be observed. But the only thing that truly matters at the end of the day from a soul level is that I am being my unique frequency of my cross of incarnation and all of my unique frequency. You know, like everything about you that is your unique frequency. But your cross of incarnation is like this home based mantra almost that you can come back to. As long as I'm being this energy, I know that I'm fulfilling what my soul came here to be. And I can let go of all of the other pressure, all of the other external stuff. And I know that's such a like nerdy human design thing to be thinking to myself while I'm observing like something completely unrelated. Like, you know, friends like just doing life stuff, like going to dinner or not wanting to go to dinner and not knowing how to speak up for themselves. And I'm just like, I'm so grateful that I have this information about myself because it just helps me stay grounded in a world that's really overwhelming and that we're asked a lot and, you know, experiencing a lot of different other energies.
Yeah, honestly, human design in general has given that to me where it
Yeah.
feels so um yeah, it's like I'm not looking for myself in others, which a lot of us are doing all the time, looking for ourselves in, you know, the world, in our leaders, in people that we admire or look up to, in our partners or our parents or our friends or our kids. Like people are constantly looking outside of themselves to say like who am I? And yeah, you could argue that you're looking outside of yourself to ask human design who am I? But the beautiful thing is that human design will give you an answer that isn't based off of you know, what works for them. And also you can then get to experiment with it, like hear these words, you feel this unlocking happening, and this awareness once you've heard these words allows you to then feel into it and really see the support and the ease that comes through embodying these things. Like you don't have to try to embody your cross, like you are your cross. So it just allows you to stop trying to be someone else's purpose or
Yeah.
frequency. So it's so, so helpful. So let's talk about our crosses of incarnation because there's a lot of crosses of incarnation. We're not going to talk about every single one here. And honestly, we
Impossible.
probably should have like a training or a
Yeah,
course where we teach every single cross of
we
incarnation in
should.
full depth. So let's
We
put a pin
should.
in that for add it to the fucking list. Things that we want to teach. But yeah, let's talk a bit about ours.
Yeah, and I just want to say that question we get all the time is like, why is it called cross of incarnation? The word cross tends to elicit a connotation connecting it to religion in some way, like the cross of
Yeah.
Jesus. And obviously, it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with that type of cross that people are thinking of. The reason it's called Cross of Incarnation is because it's comprised out of four gates. And when you look at those four gates in the human design rave mandala, they create a perfect, crisscross X around the wheel. And, those four qualities are held in this perfect geometry where they stretch across the wheel. So that's where the word cross comes from. And it's like these four qualities are the biggest energy that you're here to be imprinted with in this incarnation. So this lifetime, this incarnation, you're here to be imprinted with these four qualities that create the cross around the wheel. I just wanted to explain that because people get really confused and they're like, is this something that I have to subscribe to, or is this a religious belief? And it's absolutely not. It's actually geometry, which is really cool. And in our course, Activate Your Golden Purpose, we study the wheel a lot. We look at the rave mandala. We look at the placement of these gates across the wheel. We look at the astrological sign the 64 gates or 64 gene keys fall within. We look at the quarters, really dissecting that, which we'll probably get into in this conversation too. But, if you want to understand all of that kind of geometry and the science behind human design, we do dive into that in our upcoming course. But I just wanted to explain that because people are like confused and it stops them in their tracks from even getting into deeper levels. But my cross is the right angle cross of contagion. And when I first learned that, it really tells me that I'm here to be someone who is contagious, someone who transfers energy and ideas. And, part of the energies within my cross is gate 8, my unconscious sun gate, where I'm someone who has this unique creative taste around what is interesting, what is fascinating, what is beautiful, what are the things that are really going to move us. And I'm here to get passionate and enthusiastic and super excited about the things that I really believe are going to make a better world and then share them, spread this energy. So a lot of the messaging that I feel connected to my cross of contagion, because contagion sounds like literally you're spreading a virus,
Mhm.
but instead I'm like, it's a pollinator, like you're like a pollinator, a butterfly, like you're spreading these concepts and ideas that you've cultivated and collected with my unique creative eye and taste, and also feeling and being able to share that with the world in a way that truly catches on like wildfire and that spreads waves of change in the world. And there's also, an energy in my cross about being able to do that in a way that is really intimate, being able to do that in a way where I'm connecting on a soul level and not just in a, interpersonal or in a, less personal way, but really getting in there and being able to share from heartfelt passion straight from the soul and being able to spread ideas. And for me, definitely, it's like if that's the overarching frequency that I'm here to do, I literally do that shit in my sleep. I do it all the time. And it felt so, on one hand, relieving. Like, as long as I am so clear about the ideas that I'm passionately drawn to, that I believe are beautiful, interesting, inspiring, that are going to help change the world and awaken consciousness, if I'm sharing those things, and I'm really coming from that contagious fire in my heart and passing that torch on to other people and helping inspire and enliven them, then I know I'm doing my life purpose. And, it can change, it can grow, it can be in different iterations, but that is the core base of what my frequency is here to be in the world.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because before we knew human design, right? And like knowing that you're across of contagion and there's all this comparison. Like I remember in college thinking like, gosh, like Dana's, so good at like her style is so good or her ideas or her insight, her creativity or her voice or her music or writing or whatever is so good. And like she could say one thing to me and I'm like take it and run with it, and it like becomes my new favorite thing. And you still do that all the time. Like you'll play a song in Besties, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this song. And then I play it every single morning because I have a left facing arrow. And it's like, so it catches on like wildfire in my life. And it's, it used to be something where I was like, gosh, like, what are my things? Like, how come, like, are people doing that with me? Like, what's wrong with me? Is she more creative than I am? And I'm not, like, my ideas aren't actually good or, worth catching on, or, like there's all of this behind the scenes jealousy that would pop up, or comparison, or feeling like you're better than I am. And obviously, we went to a college that was very competitive and artistic, and that really drove in that conditioning too, where you're constantly comparing yourself to your peers. But, and that's probably true of most colleges, honestly. But once I learned about this in human design, it was like, oh my God, like once again, this exhale of like, amazing. Now I don't have to feel like embarrassed that I'm like playing the song that she shared with me on repeat every single day, and like I don't have to feel like embarrassed that she said this one thing, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, let's create a course around it, let's do this program, let's build it out, let's make it happen, let's share it far and wide. Like I am meant to be in her life, and I'm meant to be impacted by her purpose and her frequency and her geometry, right? Like the crosses around you are meant to be impacting you. Like people are meant to live out their purpose, and you're a part of that. So getting to be impacted by her frequency now feels like, ooh, I love your contagious ass. And it's so apparent to me in every single thing that you do, every conversation that you have, every, like when I go to hang out with certain friends that you haven't been around, like I see your contagion, or that you're not with me around, like I see your wildfire spreading, right? So it's so liberating to understand not only yours, but your friends and family, because it helps you release that comparison once again.
I love that. I thought you were gonna say like Dr. Dana, that anything I would say is like, oh, okay, Dr. Dana, like trying to spread it like a virus, wildfire. Um,
There
but
definitely is Dr. Dana, which that was our nickname for Dana in college, because she always would have like, I think this is your defined mind
no, it
for
is. It's a
sure.
combination of my entire
Combination.
being, my entire
Yes.
essence.
Dr. Dana will prescribe you a diagnosis or a like answer to a question, and then it's like,
But it would
is
just
that
really
but
but
it
I
would
felt like
catch
it would
on.
really catch, like, I could
It
really
would.
convince someone or contagiously spread an idea, like, "No, I really think I'm passionate about this." They'd be like, "Me
Yeah.
too. I'm
But
gonna
it
do it
can
now."
be like a game of telephone where you're like, hold on, let's look on Google." And it's like, what? I swore that that was true. And then you think back and you're like, oh no, 10 years ago, Dr. Dana told me that.
Wow,
But
the high and the
knowing,
low of
but
it. But
I would say
honestly
95% of it was always accurate with Dr. Dana.
yeah,
Um,
honestly, my contagion energy too, like it you can go deeper into it, but also I think just like some of the catchphrases around it can be so relieving, like to know that I'm here to contagiously spread what I'm passionate about. Like what I was saying earlier about witnessing people with social anxiety and they're not really sure where their place is in the world, like I will literally say that mantra to myself. And it just helps me instantly come back to self love, knowing myself. And like you were saying, Shayna, not comparing myself to other people. Cause like now talk about your cross and how I could really compare myself to you or be jealous of your energies.
Yeah, so my cross of incarnation is the right angle cross of the Sphinx, and all of the different crosses they're different based on the order of their number. And so I'm 1, 2, 7, 13, and this cross is really about building a legacy that immortalizes my own direction, and really being a leader, and having a very clear direction. But the word legacy is something that unlocked a huge thing within me to kind of exhale of like, okay, like that is why I feel so called to um to like walk the walk and not just talk the talk. Why I feel so called to integrity, why I feel so like this pull within me to have a legacy of some kind. Like, when I was a child, I was obsessed with Mulan. Like, she literally saved China, like, changed her whole entire country. And I'm like, okay, but I honestly never felt like, who am I to think that? I just thought that that's what,
'Cause you don't have gate 50, so that
I don't
fear,
have
was not there.
was not there. It was just like, yeah, like, why would I be focused on, like, these other Disney princesses that are just like, you know,
Housewives waiting to be
ch
kissed?
yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say
lame.
trying to get laid.
Oh, that too, they
Too
actually
too
are.
far. Thirsty. I'm just kidding.
One
I mean,
day my dick will come. I've
oh
been
my
singing a
god.
lot in episodes lately,
This is
which
gonna turn into a spiritual sleepover,
uh,
which is like such a different
oh,
vibe than our typical episodes. Anyways, yeah, I just felt like
Mulan,
it's too
not catching
small.
dick.
Like,
No, yeah.
it's too small. All these other stories are too small. Like, I've always been really attracted to, like, um, that feeling of, like, wanting to change the direction of the world or of, something bigger than just me, and that's where legacy comes in. So then it's like, okay, well, how am I using that in my everyday life? Like, isn't that a huge hill to climb? Like, how does that feel like an exhale? And I notice it and I see it in small ways, like with my daughter and the ways that I am raising her and interacting with her, with my, ways that I live my life in general, like my meditation routine or how I order my groceries or just like tiny little things. I notice that I am always like leaving behind a ripple effect that is um important to me. And so it's not like we all have a ripple effect, and really through observing your cross, right? Like it kind of feels like this there's a side of it that's like, okay, well, if I'm going to be that contagious, like Dana, or leaving behind a legacy that is immortalizing my direction in life, like immortalizing, like it's living past me, then I better be leaving behind an imprint that I'm proud of and that I love and that's worth it. I better be spreading contagious things. Like if I'm contagious no matter what, I could be spreading despair, I could be spreading like
Not self,
not self.
ego,
Yeah, exactly.
comparison.
And there's definitely times in my life where I feel like I have, been leaving behind a legacy that is not what I want and not what I feel that is my not self. And so we all have that impact. We all have this ripple effect that we're constantly creating the future with our present moment. And that viewpoint, that's a good example of showing you what my cross really is. Like my energy is like really always seeing how you are consciously creating the future. Like 300 years from now, you're creating it right now. And I see that with the, journey that I've gone on through my conception and wanting to impact my eggs and like so many things, right? But being able to hear your cross and then feel empowered to show up for it versus like uh be impacting others but not consciously, I think is something that is so important for this new paradigm and for everyone to really honor because we're worth it. Like you are worth showing up for yourself. Like you are worth having consciousness behind your actions and behind knowing who you are. Like you're worth knowing. And I think that a lot of times people are scared to know themselves because what if it's bad? What if it's something that's, like destined to be horrible. And it's never that. It always is this feeling of coming home to yourself, of relief, of like, okay, I can pursue these things. I can show up in this way. This is different than my friends and family. And I'm meant to be in this way. And it's self-love ultimately. But it for me, it was a giant permission slip to like be like, okay, I am Mulan. Like, even if I don't save China or save the world or whatever, like craft a new paradigm that is better than where we're at right now. Even if I don't do any of that, I know that my desire to, the conversations that I have, this podcast, the book that we wrote, my child, my partner, like I know that that frequency and that energy and my thoughts, being a thought leader, like that will live on past me. And other people aren't thinking about that, right? Like I'm meant to because of this being my cross.
And ultimately, your cross is not about what you do, it's about who you be, like the energy you are being. And so, if you are being all of those things, which you literally so are your cross, I can't even, like you just emanate it, you are it in everything that you do. Um, it really, it is helpful to relieve that pressure when you understand how this is not about one thing that you're here to do, because we have such a not self coming from the majority of our undefined ego centers about like proving ourselves. And I feel like it's really interesting what you said, Shayna, about people having a lot of fear around their cross. That is definitely something we've observed in readings. People are like nervous to get to their life purpose energy in their cross because they're nervous. And what if I'm totally off track? What if it's something that's really scary or I just feel like I can't do? What if it's something I don't resonate with? And right before we talk about their cross, we literally feel this like drum roll moment where people are nervous, like, what is it going to be? And then the second that they hear it, we have never experienced a single person that we've ever shared it with that has felt like scared after hearing it. Instead, it's the opposite. You feel relieved, you feel grounded, you feel centered, but you also do feel inspired like, oh, this bigger thing is coming up from within you that's wanting to be shared. And it's such a beautiful energy to feel that calm, centered groundedness, relief, and also inspired, like ready to go, ready to rocket off into this energy. But I just wanted to highlight that with you having the cross of Sphinx, I think two of the energies in your cross that I can feel easily like comparison or jealousy or, really like being like, should I have those qualities? Well, the first one is gate 2, which is one of the gates in your cross. And then the second one is gate 7. Because I don't have gate 2, but I have gate 14. And it's literally gate 2 would bridge one of my splits in my chart. So that quality specifically, like I have all of this luck and energy and passion and contagion and magnetism towards finding success and building something that's going to be really successful and that's going to be a gift to a lot of people. But gate 2 is missing in my chart, that sense of inner direction, that sense of the Sphinx being pointed into this cosmic map where you know where you're meant to go. You know what the next steps are in building that. I don't have that in my chart. And of course, when we're together working as a team, our energies click together, and your 2 literally clicks together with my gate 14, which is a very powerful pairing and one of the reasons why we work so well together. But definitely, there's times in my life where I'm like, I have all of this passion and creativity and leadership energy in my uniqueness and in my enthusiasm to share things and spread things and teach things. But it's like, where the fuck am I going? Like, where is this all leading? Like, what is the next step? Literally no idea. And, knowing that I don't need to have access to those energies the way that you do, and being able to admire and witness the way that you always have that inner knowing and how beautiful it is and how much it benefits everyone in your life when you're simply following your own inner direction. It's just been like relieving to me to know that I don't need to play that role, that I can instead click into gear with it and observe it within you. And I feel so grateful that our strategies and authorities have brought us together, because in so many ways we're like both leaders, but we're opposite, like we're yin and we're yang. And when we come together, we have a fuller picture about like you, leadership and building and putting your integrities and morals and values and insight about how we should transform into something that you're building that will leave a legacy, knowing how to direct that. And then for me, being able to spread it and make it beautiful and interesting and passionate and having that contagious energy, marketing energy that we build. You know, we literally have found ourselves in those roles without even trying because we're just aligned with our unique frequencies.
Yes. Yes. Ah, I love it.
And it's so interesting to think about how your cross is in the quarter of mutation
Yeah.
and knowing that you're always wanting to transform. Like that's like the main passion, zest that drives everything that you share and all the energy that you are is like, how do we transform? And it's like very Scorpio energy because obviously Scorpio falls in that quarter. But that's another thing that I'm like, that's not my energy. My cross is in the cross of duality. I am here to observe connection and relationships and polarities and kind of that more psychological realm of how people experience polarity, duality, themes, roles, archetypes. Like that is my fucking shit. And it is the thing that drives me. And staying in my lane on that has been so helpful because, you know, I'm not this like mutation transformation energy the way that your quarter is.
Yeah, and I am not about bonding and connection and duality, like, I am not, and that's so helpful to know. So learning about your quarter, if you are like, "Okay, I wanna learn about my cross," um, there we always recommend the book, The Human Design book by Ra Ruhu and Linda Bonnell. That book is just an amazing resource, but it's a very, like, scientific wording. A lot of people don't like to read it, but we love this book for just, like, a quick blurb about your cross and to understand what quarter you're in. Also, we break this down in a lot more detail in our course, Activate Your Golden Purpose, and just understanding your quarter, even without your cross, is helpful. Like, I
Game
know that my
changer.
purpose is fulfilled through transformation and through like evolving and mutating things and like alchemy. That's what I'm drawn toward. That's what I'm fascinated in. Like decoding the matrix. Literally, that is like the juiciest thing for me. And for Dana, it's that bonding, our relationships, our connections, that duality, that push and pull, seeing like that psychological aspect that Dana's talking about, like I do not care about that really. And so it's so helpful because Dana would always say, like my relationships are the biggest teachers. Like my relationship with my husband, I'm like so committed and like I'm always learning from that. My relationship with you, like me, um, like that I'm learning so much through. And that's because she's meant to be in that realm and feeling very purposeful in that. And if I didn't have this information or we didn't have this information, there could easily be comparison or
Mhm.
derailing of like, okay, well, I should probably be focused on that. Like, I should be looking at that. It's like, no, you got that. You've got it. I am going to focus on my mutation side and knowing that I don't need to be everything. I can just be my things.
Yeah.
And that is something that is liberating as well. But how do you be your things if you don't know what they are?
Yeah, it's so true. And so in this conversation, we've really talked about the cross of incarnation from a very human design lens, but we really wanted to go even deeper with that and get even more clear and even more specific on life purpose. And so that really brought us into looking into the gene keys, doing the activation sequence, which takes the same energies that are in your cross of incarnation and puts them in a geometric sequence that can really activate your genius. And it dives into not just the gene keys or the gates or the hexagrams of your cross of incarnation. It also really takes into account the line expression. And this is transformational. So, like for everyone who has asked us, one of our most frequent questions, like we said in the beginning, is what is the cross of incarnation? Why is it so elusive? How do I learn more about it? So, we really wanted to give people more hands on tools to understand exactly what this means with such deeper specificity and clarity about how you really express it out into the world. So in this Activate Your Golden Purpose course, we not only go into your Cross of Incarnation, we talk about the human design standpoint from the gates that are there. We also teach you how to activate these energies and apply them to your life with your activation sequence going into all the line expressions. So if you're someone that really wants crystal clear clarity on what your purpose is, and you have read the blurb before in the human design book, you've listened to the podcast, and you're like, I want to know with more depth so that I know exactly who I am. I'm grounded in what I'm here to share and what the world is needing from me. The number one frequency that I'm here to infuse into everything that I do, into everything I create, into ultimately the energy that I am here to be. This course is going to give you such clarity. Like, honestly, you will leave, and then this is just one aspect of it, but you will leave with so much clarity about how you are marketing yourselves, the offerings that you're giving to the world, the energy that you want to infuse into that so that you're really centered in who you are instead of trying to compare yourself to other people or share things or market things or share your gifts in a way that you're seeing other people do it. It's like when you have a little bit of information about yourself, you can be so grounded in confidence and not comparing yourself. But when you have more information with these levels of specificity, it just gives you so much permission to just really build something in a way that's going to align with your unique frequency. And we can all feel when someone is completely aligned in their authenticity, it is so magnetic, it is so abundant. We just want a piece of that. And this course really gives you all of the tools that you need to like actually put these things out into the world, to build your offerings, to build your business, to build your frequency in a way that is going to be completely authentic, with takes out all of the guessing work. Like, a lot of the things in human design can be so general, or they can be, these bigger overarching themes or archetypes that are very powerful and interesting. But sometimes it's like, what does this mean for me? How do I put this into an offering? How do I share this? How do I understand what the challenges might be that are holding me back within my life purpose, within my cross of incarnation? And the activation sequence and the way that we walk through it with the gene keys and the line expressions in this course really make that clear for you.
Yes. Yes. So you know where you can find all of that information down below in the show notes, and also on our website, daylunalife.com/golden purpose, and on Instagram at dayluna. But we really hope that this conversation can inspire you to really learn about your cross, even if that's just getting the book and reading your blurb. A lot of information online is not accurate. Um, a lot of information that you ask ChatGPT for is not accurate when it comes to
Yes.
human design. Like, we love
Be
chat.
careful.
Yeah, we love ChatGPT, but not always accurate, especially with crosses of incarnation. So just be careful about all those online, like free online resources. I would recommend a book or a course or, something like that. Um, but yeah, hopefully you're feeling inspired to learn about your cross and to exhale into your purpose. And even if you don't learn the exact words, just knowing that your sun gates and your earth gates are these qualities that you're here to be, can just be something that gives you a little bit of a hug of like, you're doing it. Like, you being yourself, if you just use your strategy and authority, you are going to be your cross of incarnation. So, um, hopefully that's just a little bit of permission granted that you're enough, that you're worthy of knowing yourself, that you can exhale into your purpose and really help build this new paradigm. Once again, I always say it with us. We love you and we hope that you have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you for tuning in with us today. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to follow along and learn more about human design.